a police officer is the only thing I ever wanted to do. And I met my husband and we fell in love. I discovered the affair and I tried to save my marriage. I wasn't some crazy woman.
Stephanie was never indicted for anything, criminally prosecuted for anything. None of that was proven. As of right now, her ex-husband hasn't even been able to get a restraining order.
There was another case from about a decade ago that we reported on in 2016, also involving Stephanie, with her maiden name Odette. She was sued by a Riverside police officer for having a relationship with the woman's husband, a fellow San Diego police officer. Cockrell was accused of hacking into the man's phone at the time with the help of someone who worked for Verizon after she had been blocked, something she confessed to under oath in an SDPD disciplinary hearing at the time, a topic that our Rotunian refused to get into today.
Sir, we're not going to be answering any questions other than questions directly pertaining to this lawsuit.
I reached out to the San Diego Police Department to see if they wanted to share a statement or comment on this in any way. They did not want to. I also spoke on the phone with her estranged husband. He reiterated what was found in those court documents. He also says he believes that she broke numerous laws and was not truthful about it. But for now, from downtown, I'm Dana Williams, NBC 7.
What's up, everybody? This is Mr. 100K a day with another video with 100K Paralegal Services. Today, we're going to be talking about this police officer, this crazy nut job of a police officer, Stephanie Cockrell. Now, you guys just saw the preview. You know, she would have been accused of basically stalking all of her exes, stalking their phone calls, stalking their text messages in their phones, placing cameras in her ex-husband's house, putting GPS trackers on her ex-husband. Another San Diego cop. Her entire resume screams, I am a crazy woman who can't let go. When I first heard about this case, it raised the hair on the back of my neck. And the reason why is for two reasons. Number one, I've always said that police officers are oftentimes just crooks with a badge. Many of them are just people who have mental issues and they just became cops to try to sow their royal oats and have the opportunity to basically commit crimes and abuse their authority almost with impunity. I've said that always. The second reason why I made hair stand up on the back of my neck is because I actually dated a cop years ago who monitored things with me and who basically stalked me and conducted surveillance on me electronically. You know, when I decided I didn't want to be with the chick anymore, you know, I actually ended up taking a trip with another chick that I had been talking to. And when I was actually 3,000 miles away in the Caribbean, right? And this cop was a cop working in the St. Louis metropolitan area, St. Louis, Missouri metropolitan area. And I'm literally at lunch, sitting, having lunch with another young lady in the Caribbean. This woman was somehow able to stalk me down in the Caribbean. She knew exactly where I was. She knew exactly who I was with. And it was the most craziest thing in the world for her to be tracking my location, abusing the police, databases in order to do that. So me reading about Stephanie, hearing about Stephanie Cockrell doing these things to her husband, it really, really rang a bell with me. If you guys just sit back and look, now this woman's blonde, whatever, all the characteristics that white people like in their women, skinny, blonde, but she is an absolute psycho. Take a listen to some of the allegations against her and what the judge and the other authorities found against her in deciding that she would not be allowed to carry a gun with her as a cop.
A judge has ordered a San Diego police officer to stay away from her ex-husband after finding she stalked him. In August, Team 10 revealed the officer was accused of installing hidden cameras in her ex's home and stalking his girlfriend. She was facing termination until Police Chief Scott Wall overturned that decision. As Team 10 investigator Austin Grabish tells us, the judge says she must now turn in her police-issued gun.
Did you install hidden cameras in your ex-husband's home?
Officer Stephanie Cockrell didn't want to answer any of our questions as she left a heated hearing in August. Now, a judge has granted her ex-husband Tyler a restraining order. The two San Diego police officers divorced in 2021, but the judge made the decision this month after finding Stephanie was, quote, less credible. The judge's ruling says Stephanie engaged in stalking and harassment. The order requires the officer, who the department says has been working in an administrative capacity, to surrender her service weapon and to stay away from Tyler and his children. Tyler told Team 10 he's, quote, very happy the court was able to see through the lies and look at the evidence, adding it was unfortunate the department did not take her actions seriously. Law professor Sean Fields.
It is interesting that a police officer was found to be less credible because it doesn't reflect well on her own professional capacity or on the police department in general.
What message does the judge's decision send to the public?
But what it tells the public is that nobody is immune from this.
Court documents say that in addition to installing hidden cameras in her ex-husband's home, Stephanie also put tracking devices on his vehicle. In August, I revealed Stephanie was facing termination from the force for stalking, theft, and untruthfulness. But after becoming police chief last year, Scott Wall overturned her looming termination.
He agreed with the commander's recommendation that Stephanie's alleged behavior and what was proven did not justify termination and reduced it to a reprimand.
And it's not the officer's first time getting into hot water with the force. In 2016, she admitted to hacking the phone of an officer she was having an affair with. Last month, she announced she was suing the police department after she says false rumors spread she had an affair with Wall, which she denies. This summer, I reported the city paid a law firm to launch a secret investigation into allegations against Wall. The city has refused to say what triggered the investigation, but Stephanie says Internal Affairs interrogated her after an anonymous letter to the city council alleged she had an affair. I asked the police department for an interview with Wall so I could learn why he overturned Stephanie's termination. Spokeswoman Ashley Nichols sent a statement that said, quote, the San Diego Police Department is aware of the order which pertains to a family court proceeding. SDPD cannot provide further comment on personnel matters. I followed up asking if Stephanie turned in her police-issued gun and when Wall was available for an interview. But I didn't get a response.
She is a loyal officer and a mother who has been punished, silenced, and harassed for being a woman in a predominantly male-led organization.
Were you ever interviewed by outside investigators with a law firm probing allegations that were swirling around the department that you had an affair with Police Chief Scott Wall?
I think we're gonna not answer any questions because, to my knowledge, that investigation is still ongoing.
You were in the news about 10 years ago for a hacking scandal with Verizon.
So we're not gonna be answering any questions.
Stephanie did not return my request for comment this week, but told us last month.
Becoming a police officer is the only thing I ever wanted to do.
Now it seems she'll have to do that job without her gun. Austin Grabish, Team 10.
The law professor that Team 10 interviewed says the officer can ask the court for her police-issued gun back. She would need to get a psychological evaluation and prove to a judge she's no longer a threat.
So as you guys can see, this woman's an absolute and total nut job. Her ex-husband, who of course is a current San Diego police officer, said that, she was a liar. She was making false accusations. She was doing a lot. She just couldn't take no for an answer. She can't take no for an answer. She did this to an ex-boyfriend. She had been sued based upon this previously. So I think that this woman shouldn't be allowed to be a police officer. When police officers show signs that they're mentally ill or they're mentally unstable, I think you got to get them out of the departments and decertify them immediately. That way you can catch them before they do something that really, really hurts somebody in the community. That's what I personally believe. I have always said one of the best ways to cure a lot of the issues going on with bad cops is to give them quarterly polygraph tests and quarterly mental health evaluations. A polygraph test, just like the FBI have to take to get, to be certified as an FBI agent, I think that would eliminate a lot of problems, a lot of potential issues. You failed the polygraph test, you're fired. Bottom line. So, we have to see how this thing turns out. She's suing the department for sexual harassment and discrimination. She got her job back. She's supposed to get fired, but according to all this stuff, all the information is going on, she slept with the new police chief to work her way up. And let's not forget, she was accused of sleeping with her coworker before. Her ex-husband and her worked together. She slept with him, got married to him, had a baby with him. Then he cheated on her with a coworker. It's just like basically everybody's messing with everybody now. It seems like she's the one left out in the dark. Because she ended up being left alone with a woman that was, according to her, 10 years younger than her. That's what she said in her interview, that the woman he was cheating on her with was 10 years younger. And I don't know why she mentioned that. Maybe that mattered to her, the fact that she, was getting cheated on and he was cheating with a young tender. But we'll see how things turn out. I suspect that she's going to do something else stupid in the future and is going to destroy herself because she is clearly mentally ill. Tell me what you guys think. Do you guys think that this happens more often than not, that mentally ill police officers are allowed to stay on the force just because women are allowed to lie on men? And the fact that this is a police officer, if her own husband says she's not credible, in the court documents, the judge has found her to be not credible and to be a danger to her husband, how should that affect her performance as a police officer? Does it matter? Does it mean she lies in police affidavits and search warrant affidavits? Does she lie on police reports? I think it's something that people should look at. I just don't think that these people should be allowed to be police officers when you literally have a license to kill. You're entrusted to uphold the Constitution, and you can take a person's life pretty easily in your position. And I think that, people like her definitely need to be weeded out. Tell me what you guys say in the comments. This is Mr. 100K a day. Till next time. 100K Paralegal Services. I'm out this joint. Peace.